And liftoff, Falcon 9, starting 410.
Vehicle's pitching now, right?
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying our stack of 48
telemetry nominal.
Carrying our stack of 48 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Moments ago, we throttled the 9 M1D engines down, reducing the speed by decreasing the flow
Vehicle supersonic.
of fuel to the engine. Now that's in preparation for max Q, which is the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will see, coming up in just a few seconds.
Max Q.
There's max Q, and we will have 3 events happening here shortly. We will have main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine startup 1. Now, main engine cutoff is where all 9 of those M1D engines currently burning will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for the next event, stage separation. Now, this is where the first and second stages will separate. Now, the start of our second engine MVAC chill has started, as you just heard. Now, after stage separation, the first stage will make its way back down to Earth for landing, whereas the second stage will continue on its journey to the third event of second engine startup 1. That's where that single MVAC engine will light up and propel the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit. The cool views of the first stage with the Earth in the background. Just about 10 seconds from main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
You can see on those cool live views of the first and second stage. You can see the fairing have just popped off there, but we did have a successful main engine cutoff, stage separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And second engine startup 1. And as you saw, we had a successful fairing deployment, and SpaceX has reflown the Falcon fairing halves since 2019. But again, the fairing halves flying on today's mission are brand new, and we will be attempting to recover them on our recovery vessel, Doug, for a future mission. You can see cool live views from the Falcon 9 first stage on your left with its grid fins deployed, and the second stage on your right with that single MVAC engine burning. As second stage heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit for our Starlink satellites, stage 1 will complete 2 burns in order to make its way back down to Earth. Now, the first is the entry burn, and this is where 3...
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
The entry burn is where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite to help slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The second burn is the landing burn, and this is a single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on our drone ship. If you're just joining us, we've had a successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Stations, Slick 40, and right now you're looking at live views from the first and second stages, with the first stage currently making its way back to our drone ship, a shortfall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean, and the second stage carrying our stack of 48 Starlink satellites to their low Earth orbit. And this is our 10th mission of 2022. In fact, it's the 10th mission in 10 weeks and the 7th Starlink mission of 2022 so far.
Vehicle on nominal trajectory.
Now, the Merlin engines on that first stage are optimized for sea level, so they achieve 190,000 pounds of thrust during ascent and descent. And in contrast, that MVAC engine that you see on the right side of your screen is optimized for 220,500 pounds of thrust in vacuum. And the main difference between these two engines is the size of that nozzle that you can see on the second stage there. It's much bigger than the M1Ds on the first stage. There's also a cool glamour shot of the Falcon 9 grid fins on those live views from the first stage on your left. And these are
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
At the start of our stage 1 entry burn,
Stage 2 FTS is safe.
as it burns onto the sides of the first stage.
Start of terminal guidance.
Coming up really shortly on stage 1, landing burn start.
Terminal guidance.
Coming up really shortly on stage 1, landing burn start.
Stage 1 landing burn. Stage
Cut
1
off.
landing leg deploy.
Here shortly as well.
And back engine cut off.